So, I'm sure most of you heard about Yannick Flohe's recent downgrade of Will Bosey's brain rot from V16 to V14, as well as his recent downgrade of One Mourns the Wicked, V17 from Nathaniel Coleman, which he downgraded to 16. Now, due to this, a question is posed. Are these downgrades potentially driven by his ego? In this video, I will try my best to answer this question. This is solely based on my opinions as well as some of my friends, and you can feel free to share yours in the comments. Without further ado, let's get started. So, on April 19th, 2025, Will Bosey made the first scent of brain rot in Magic Wood, Switzerland, which he gave V16. Next, it was repeated by Sam Weir, who agreed with the 16 grade. Soon after, Nikolai Uznik sent the climb and said it was likely soft. Recently, Yannick Flohe sent brain rot and proposed a downgrade to V14 due to new microbeta. He also reportedly did several laps to train for sport climbing. This is where the ego question comes up, okay? As if a 2-grade downgrade wasn't enough, he almost clowned on Will Bosey by doing laps on it. This seems like a pretty egotistic move on Yannick's part, honestly, to me. Maybe it wasn't, he was being genuine, but I honestly have no idea. Next, I'll talk about his downgrade from Nathaniel Coleman's One Mourns the Wicked V17 to V16. On December 3rd, 2024, Nathaniel Coleman completed the first ascent of One Mourns the Wicked in Thunder Ridge, Colorado, proposing V17, making it one of the hardest climbs in the States. One Mourns the Wicked adds a V13 traverse into Defying Gravity, a V15 established by Daniel Woods. Or does it? Yannick Flohe gave the V13 intro V11 instead. We did have hints this climb might have been soft, especially for Yannick. The V15 is very comp style, which Yannick particularly excels at. Additionally, the V17 had its second ascent by British climber Hamish MacArthur in 4 hours, which is an insane feat of strength. This downgrade is crushing to Beckett Sin, who had just become the youngest person to ascend V17 at just 16 years old. It very well might have been V17 for Beckett, though, as he is only 5'2", making the moves much harder for him. This downgrade does not come from an ego standpoint, I believe, as it was the perfect boulder for Yannick, as it's very compy style for the hardest move. Although the V13 to V11 downgrade is, well, absurd, and seems very unnecessary. His ego can be shown slightly as he basically blamed conditions in his skin while saying he could have easily done the route if this hadn't occurred, basically pretty much self-glorifying himself. Once again, not a huge ego here, but absolutely crushing to Beckett. Here I'm going to talk about some additional routes he has proposed downgrades for, not even sent, which are the main basis for my argument. Burden of Dreams V17 was established by Nali Huckataival on October 23, 2016, being proposed as the first V17 in the entire world. Burden is one of the most infamous V17s and a significant milestone in climbing history, as well as a significant benchmark for the grade. Recently, in a Wheel Rock video, Noah Wheeler and Yannick discussed the grade of Burden, saying it could potentially be V16. Now Burden has 6 ascents and all have given the 17 grade. So you might ask, what has changed now? And the answer is Yannick's reason for most of his downgrades, including brain rot, microbeta. New beta has made the cross move on Burden significantly easier, thus leading people to call it soft. Noah Wheeler has worked the climb and got extremely close. Yannick, on the other hand, is calling it soft and is the main one calling it V16. However, Yannick has still not managed to do the first move of the boulder, which in my opinion gives him no justification at all to speak of downgrades when he's not close. Additionally, he made completely irrelevant comments about how the climb might have been even easier or V15 for Nolly as he lived close to the boulder. Quite frankly, his argument is rather stupid. Living close to the boulder has no effect on its physical difficulty whatsoever. The only benefit is that he was able to project it more due to living nearby. But we also have to think this was in 2016, where the bouldering limit was substantially lower, and Nolly was an insane visionary for even considering this to be in the realm of human possibility. Overall, I think this is solely based on his ego, and Yannick has no room at all to be proposing downgrades to one of the most famous routes in the world when he is not even close to the boulder itself. Finally, I'll talk about why he might have an actual reason for his downgrades. Yannick is insanely strong, becoming the first person in the world to flash a V15 boulder and almost flash Excalibur, a 515C or 9B plus established by Stefano Gislafi. He might have fallen into the trap that many people experience, including myself, when they have a rapid improvement in their climbing. When you build strength very fast but don't realize it, you can start to think everything is soft, while in reality you are just stronger than you actually realize. This very well might be the case for Yannick, and it's not entirely his ego at all. Another thing to think about is the style of the boulders. Yannick comes from a competition background, meaning he'll naturally be better at those moves. In the case of One Mourns the Wicked and Burden, they are both competition and board style. Since Yannick is very good at this style, this might lead him to believe these boulders are soft, when in reality they just fit him very well. And even if it's not from an ego standpoint, everyone has the right to downgrade the boulder as they seem fit, although it does seem kind of extreme in these cases. A good thing for Yannick, though, is he doesn't just downgrade. After he climbed Alex Amigos' Rastaman Vibrations and Seus, he proposed an upgrade and a slash grade from 9B or 9B plus or 515B/C. Also, the boulder he climbed was his hardest ever, but he didn't take the grade and downgrade it based on what he felt was appropriate. That does show true character instead of just taking the fame. Well, thanks so much for listening to this video. This is my first time doing any commentary or any video like this, so please leave feedback as well as your opinions on the topic and around this discussion in the comments. Bye and have a great day.